Hey there, YouTube. It's Nolan here again with another episode of Game Chat. So what's up with Pokemon, right? Alright, now if you've been following my series, we've been taking a look at Pokemon from the very first generation. And then a few weeks ago, we took a look at Generation 4. Now we're finally up to the 5th generation of Pokemon. I know, can you believe it? We're all the way up to number 5. Where has the time gone? As you can see right here, we've got my 3DS up and running with Pokemon White, and we're just going to let this run for a little bit. It's going to go through some videos, some fun things. Here we see one of the legendary Pokemon from this game, and this is actually the version mascot of Pokemon White. So, going into the 5th generation of Pokemon, you know, the games are pretty formulaic at this point. You know, take the Pokemon from the previous generation, tack on an extra 100 or so Pokemon, add a few new items, new features to the game, and boom, you've got a Pokemon game. Enough to draw in millions and millions from its fans. And, you know, it's pretty much same old, same old. So what exactly is new in this series, in this particular generation of Pokemon games? Well, as I mentioned, we've got Pokemon White up and running, so here's the box art of Pokemon White. And to complement Pokemon White, we also have Pokemon Black. Now, I've got a special treat for you. I actually have all of the Pokemon games from this generation. So I'll show those to you and see what those are all about. And take a look at the back of the games. You know, exciting stuff. And you can see the back of Black is kind of black and back of White is kind of white. So, hey, lo and behold, who'da thunk, right? So those are Pokemon Black and White. Now, if you may recall other generations, there were the first 2 games that came out that complemented each other, and then they came out with a 3rd title. So if you take a look at Red and Blue, and then Yellow followed shortly. Gold and Silver, Crystal followed shortly after. So what do you have to complement White and Black? Well, what would go well? Let's see, take a look at the colors of the rainbow. White and Black aren't really in there. So, what else? Brown? I don't know, Pokemon Brown, that just kind of sounds weird, and I don't think too many people would play that. So, what do you have to follow up Pokemon Black and White? Well, in case you didn't already know, they came out with Pokemon White 2 and Pokemon Black 2. These games are very unique in the Pokemon series in that they are actually direct sequels to the previous Pokemon games, Black and White, Black 2, White 2. Now what happens is these games here actually take place 2 years after the story in Pokemon Black and White. So you see some of the same characters and you see some of the similar locations, but some of the Pokemon are in different locations, different Pokemon are available, and it's got a different storyline that follows up from the other 2, Black and White. So that's really interesting here. One thing to note, though, is your character in the game is not necessarily the same character as from Black and White. And in the games Black 2 and White 2, they make casual reference to the hero, the quotations, the hero from Pokemon Black and White. And so, of course, that is you, your player character, and you are the hero from Black and White, and you're a separate hero in Black 2, White 2. So those are the games. Aside from that, there's really not a whole lot to add in terms of like gameplay. We'll get into the game here in just a second. But I just kind of wanted to briefly state that previously, every single generation came out for a new console, a new system, if you will, or a new handheld. The 5th generation of Pokemon games, these Black, White, Black 2, White 2, these are the first games in the series to actually be released for a system that a previous generation was released for. Now, if you remember from last time, the 4th generation, we had Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Those all came out for the Nintendo DS. Also playable on the 3DS. Black, White, Black 2, White 2 also came out for the DS. So, in terms of graphics, not a whole lot's changed. In terms of gameplay, not a whole lot's changed. So, I'm doing a little bit of extra rambling this week to try to keep things interesting. So I hope you're having a great time here, right? Yeah. Anyway, let's load up the game and take a look at it. So I'll go ahead and load up my save here. Now this asks me, I'll get a little bit closer, launch Seagear Communications? Yeah, it's kind of blurry. Launch Seagear Communications. I'm going to say yes. Now, I haven't gotten a whole lot into the Seagear, but what that is basically your communications gear. Hey, take a look at this. Spring, I'll mention that here in a second. Your Seagear is down here on the lower screen. And what this is it allows you to do a little bit of online functionality. So if you wanted to connect with a friend across the internet, you could to battle, trade with each other. And like I mentioned, I didn't get a whole lot into it because I don't know a whole lot of people who have this game. But this you can actually turn off, and so that way your system is like, whoa, let's not use a whole bunch of wireless. So we can actually turn it off from the power button there on the corner, and it'll say, this will shut off the Seagear. Are you okay with that? And I'm like, yep, I don't need my Seagear up and running. So remember when we loaded up the game, it said spring up here on the top screen. That's right, this generation of games, maybe Nintendo felt really bad, or Game Freak, the creators of the game, maybe they felt really bad about releasing another series of games for the Nintendo DS. So instead of waiting for the next system to come out, let's add something new. In previous games, they had the night and day cycle. So now they actually have the season cycle. And in my game right now, it's raining, and I don't know how well you'd be able to see that. But rain's coming down. Now, rain is not a brand new thing to this series. We've seen it before on the Game Boy Advance, maybe not necessarily in these videos, but rain is not new. However, the seasons are. So, seasons change once a month. So, they're not tied in with our regular seasons. So, if I'm recording this video right now in May, it's spring here in the real world, and it just so happens to be spring in the game. However, when June rolls around, then it's going to be summer in the game. When July rolls around, then it's going to be autumn in the game. So it's really tied to your DS. And you can actually fool the system by changing the month in your DS. So if I were to fast forward to July in the game, then it would be autumn in my... Or fast forward to July on my DS, then it would be autumn in the game. What else is there about this game? Actually, right now, this is my my actual save game. So this is kind of exciting. This is, I think this might be a very first on Game Chat, is we're actually taking a look at the game that I'm actively playing. So this is kind of exciting. However, I don't think there's really a whole lot more that I have to say about Pokemon Black, Pokemon White. Now, as in previous Pokemon games, you can transfer your Pokemon up from the previous generation. Now, I can't say that's a universal statement because, for instance, from second generation, you cannot transfer those up to the third generation. They just never made the hardware compatible for that. But if you have copies of Pokemon Platinum, Pearl, or Diamond, you can transfer your Pokemon from those games up to the 5th generation. Anyway, that's about all I wanted to share with you. If there's something I've forgotten, I'll be sure to leave it in the video description. Thank you again for joining me on Game Chat. This has been So What's Up with Pokemon, the 5th generation. I hope you're getting a very firm grasp of what exactly Pokemon is. In a couple of weeks, we'll take another look at the current and so far the final generation of Pokemon, Generation 6. And I definitely hope it's not the final said and done generation. I'm hoping there's a 7th generation. I'm hoping there's an 8th generation. But we'll take a look at the 6th generation in a couple of weeks. But for now, that's all I have for you. Thanks for watching Game Chat. Please leave me some comments, ask some questions about Pokemon, about Game Chat, about DS systems, about anything. I mean, really, that's what I'm here for. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.